Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're a brand new subscriber, my name's Paul. It's nice to have you here. And if you're a returning subscriber to the channel, welcome back. So where are we today? We're going to do another video on my River Teign playlist. This is going to be the third video, and we're at Clifford Bridge. But the bridge is just down there and the car park is just opposite, and it's a free car park, which is ideal. And it's not raining, bit of blue sky. So the first walk up from the car park, and the pathway is right up there, but the river itself is right over there, so you can get to it, but I'm going to show you where we do. So the first bit is to walk up, and what we're doing is we're going to, not a long walk, but from Clifford Bridge car park to the first weir pool, which is Upperton Weir. And all these little pools have names. It's beautiful how they've been named over the years. So a little walk up from Clifford Bridge car park to the main path, and then the river itself sits quite a bit over there, but you will walk up this way to gain access to this bit of river, which is still walking upstream to Teign Bridge. So whilst we're here to obviously show you the river, etc., who knows, people might be watching this video that are just looking for this part of the world. There's old woods here. So from Clifford Bridge to Teign Bridge, as a walk, is about 2.5 miles, or a 5-mile round circular walk. And it's a lovely walk, and it's good pathway all along. You can obviously cycle, it's a shared path. But the river itself is down there in that tree line, which we will see in a very short while. So we've walked, I don't know, a couple of 300 meters, and the river is actually down there. I'm videoing with my iPhone today instead of the DJI because it gives me the better zoom function. There's Luna. Yeah, you are, sweetie. She loves the river. So get a better view of the river there. It's all fenced down here, so you drop down the little hillside here, and then you can meander your way back to the river itself. So as I said, we're at Clifford Bridge, and this is where the gauge is. And the gauge, when you look at the River Association, I think it's the River Association. I'll put that on the description because I've got that wrong. For all the river levels, which is a good idea. And the gauge called Clifford Bridge, River Teign, is just down here. So the river is now beginning to appear. We're still high up, but along here, when it levels off, is where you drop down on the right, and you can wander all the way along here and fish to your heart's desire. So beautiful part of the world. So on the gauge, I think this morning was 1.2 meters. Normally it's quite happy around 0.3, 0.4 on the gauge. Got a lot lower this year, or last year, because of the hot summer and the lack of rainfall, which obviously we've now got the opposite. We've got a wet winter and lots of rainfall. So you get a lot of salmon and sea trout anglers come up this way. And as I say, there are memberships for full members, which is the salmon, sea trout and wild brown trout. Or you can just be a wild brown trout fisherman, just like myself. And day tickets are available, as I've said before. And there's the river down there. So you could sort of get yourself down here, but there's an easier access point just up here. And I'll show you that in a sec. So on the path, we've had the big storm. So there's a fairly chunk of wool. It's fallen from up there. So we're just going to move this, my wife and I, because that's the kind of people we are. I'll take the heavy end. Just roll it over. There we go. Aren't we nice people? Okay, as you can see now, this is what you've come to watch. The river itself. As I say, we're going upstream now. And we are walking down quite quickly. A few little houses dotted around as they are, but the river is still very high. And this would be the point. There's a little bridge here which takes the water runoff from that brook up there. And this is certainly where I've gained access to this part of the water. We have actually the Upperton Fishing Association, which runs from Dunsford all the way to Chagford, as I said in the first video, and you've seen it on the... I'll put the map up above so you can see. So you gain access down this point here, and you can walk all the way along the bank and just wade where you want to. There's some lovely pools along here. They're all named after different things. I don't know where they get all these names from. But as I said, we're walking from Clifford Bridge all the way up to Upperton Weir and probably a little bit beyond. So when I put the map above, you'll see where we are. So there's likes of the Clifford Run. I think there's Boar's Reach, the Island Pool, which is a bit further up, Weirmill Pools and stuff like that. But more importantly, we're coming up to the gauge, which is just going to be on my right here, which, as I've said in the previous clip, is what you would look at to see what the water levels are like. But the beauty of a stone river like this and a spate river is that it goes up and down quite quickly, but it's always clear. And there is the gauge. Perfect. And there is the pooch. You can't go in there, that's too rough, and you know that. And there's the view of the gauge from the other side. But the river is looking beautiful. Not long now till the season starts. As I said, if you're a salmon angler though, the season has already started on the Teign. Starts a little bit later on the tour. But there's some lovely pools here. Especially when the water level's lower, you can definitely begin to enjoy the beauty of the River Teign, or the Upper Teign as we like to call it. And I think we have 6 miles, 10 kilometres of river. You will never see another soul down here, apart from me maybe, waffling on. Winter water, very rough. There's no way in the world you'd want to be in there. Obviously we are flowing downstream, well we're walking upstream, river's going down the other way obviously. The water's probably, the river's about, I'll say 25, 30 foot wide here. You know, 8, 10 metres. And it's pretty much like that all the way up to Chagford. It gets a bit narrower as it goes higher onto the moor. And the further it goes up from Chagford, you've got the Teign will split to the North Teign and the South Teign. I think it's at Lee Bridge. And then up onto the moor where I might even try and find a picture of the source of the Teign. Right. So as you can see here, the path continues to go that direction. We're going to take a little turn off to the right here, which is where Upperton Weir is. And then walk down here. But this certainly does get water above here. The water is dropping on the gauge. It's been as high as 3 metres this year, so it would have been way up here. You can see all the bankside vegetation is turned over. There you go. So, if you do like these little videos I'm putting together, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, hit that bell notification for more videos. Obviously, it's just not my whole channel has changed now. I'm trying to be more of a lifestyle channel. Woodwork's my hobby. Fly fishing is also another major hobby. But we also love travel with our dog. So you're going to see many videos. But woodworking is a very big hobby of mine. That's not to promote that, but if you want to take a look at my other playlists, I'll tag that playlist on at the end and the stuff that I do. So there is Upperton Weir and all her glory, and the pools that are associated with this. I have to say, it's just a beautiful, beautiful part of the river. And you've got Upperton Weir pool just up above. We've seen some huge sea trout in the early part of the season, just doing their own thing. Lots of debris on the island there, wrapped around from the recent storms. Beautiful. So as you walk from the noise and the decibels of the weir, the tranquil edge before the weir, and it's beautiful. It's just stunning. Apologies if the microphone isn't very good. I didn't connect a mic today. So Fingal Bridge, possibly just about 2 miles that way. We can't walk from Fingal downwards because they're doing a load of repairs on the riverbank, on the path, which is open on Friday, which is my 60th birthday. If everybody gets through this far, can wish me happy birthday. But you get an idea of the clarity of the water. I mean, here's Jink here. And this is a bit peaty up here anyway. So we're going to walk up as far as we can. So the path is way over there, which is what I've said to people who, some people have got in touch and said, do you not see a lot of walkers and dog walkers when you're fishing? The answer is yes and no, depending where you're fishing. So clearly here is a deep pool in front of the weir, but just further up here, which is where we're going to walk to, you're still quite a long way from the main path, which is over that side. So with dog walkers will walk down here, but the main people with bikes and so on will never walk down this part. And further up where we'll walk, there's loads of trees down and the path becomes a little bit inaccessible and a bit quaggy. Right, so you can't fish from the other bank along this side, or pretty much the whole length. It's one side and river wading only. So you will see some little landing stages on the opposite side. That's the other landowner. Not too sure who they are, but just stick to this. As you're looking downriver, this is the right-hand bank. As you're going upstream, it's the left-hand bank, obviously. But this is, from Clifford Bridge up is beautiful, but from Fingal Bridge down is the next one that we look to do, which will be next week. Because we're away this weekend. Yeah, there you go. So the path, you can get all the way up here to the main path, which is just that clearing. And we're going to continue walking along here. But the weir pool is behind us now and it's got very quiet. The dog loves this part of the world because you don't see anybody. All right, so we are walking further upstream. So we've gone past Upperton Weir, the Straits, Upperton Head. I'll put the map again so you roughly work out where I am. And as I say, there's a lot of tree damage here from the various storms over the last couple of years. Some of it gets left in the river by Woodlands and National Trust. Controls the flow a bit. We can disagree or agree with that as much as you people want to. But as you can see in the distance there's a couple of trees down. They weren't down a few weeks ago, so that's new. But we do get canoeists come down, so that obviously impedes their route, but they can get in and out. So this is where the path comes in a little bit now, and there's a lot of trees down, so you don't want me hopping over those on the video, but we're going to certainly walk up a bit further. All right, so we're on this path, and there's a couple of people right over there, so it just shows you how far the main path, if I can get them on the video, they're up there somewhere. Probably not come out. So we're still a long way off the main track, just to give you some idea of the peace and quiet you will get down this river here. So, recommendations really. Well, Fingal Bridge is always a good place to park. And as an angler, for me, I always like walking downstream and then fishing back up. I think that's the rules. I think that's what people do. And then, but here, there's loads of places to get in. It's beautiful along here. Loads of riffles, loads of undercuts and channels and pools. But you can see there's a big tree that's come along. Well, not a big tree, but broke from the other bank. And it's very scarred from where debris has been bashing across. But it's still beautiful. There's a strange yellow thing appeared in the sky. It's called the sun. But what it's doing is highlighting the beauty of this river down this part here. So we're still off the path. It's well trodden, clearly, but this gives the angler huge opportunities to walk, to break, to have coffees on the way, like from your flask, etc. And then, yeah. So the path and this path are going to converge down here. And then what happens then is the river flows quite close to the path. And then it further up towards Finglewood, the path continues to the left and the river sort of meanders off to the right, which we won't be showing today because we think that path's closed due to some maintenance, as I said earlier. But if you look here, you can see the river's been way up there, and that's another metre. But it's still very high. As I just said down there, the pathways are beginning to converge now. But so close to the river, it's beautiful. Obviously a lot of areas to drop in and out. There are places where you just wouldn't wade, and places that you clearly need to wade. Yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful part of the river. And this is where the pathways converge. Now at this point, Fingal Bridge is about 1.5 miles, just over a mile and a little bit down. And there's the paths both ways. Okay, so you've basically seen from Clifford Bridge, probably circa 3/4 of a mile maybe to here, maybe just a bit less or more. But you couldn't, well, it depends how fast you fish, but you could spend the whole day just doing this section and then wander back to the car, which is what we're doing. So we're going to walk back on the path, and then the next video will hopefully be a little bit of Clifford Bridge, which is beautiful in itself. And that Clifford Bridge then, the bottom end of the beat, which takes you down to Dunsford Steps, which we'll do on the next 1 or 2 videos time. Ultimately, I'm going to look to do about 7 videos on the Teign, but it's for you to come and enjoy. So we've walked back along the path, and this is the point where we turned right a few videos back. So we're now walking back downstream. There's Nutter, expectant stick throwing time. What do you want? So this is Luna, our lab. You've seen her before. She'll be 5 in May. And yeah. Beautiful bridge there, which has got a hand carved rowel. You'll see that. She thinks a stick's going to be thrown. And yeah, there's a sign for Upperton Weir, so you know where we are. So down there's the bottom of the path to the riverbank, and here is the pathway if you want to go a bit further downstream. It's quite hidden from when you're walking down, but there's the path. Won't be doing that today. So we are walking back down the road to the actual Clifford Bridge itself. So if you've got yourself this far on the video, thank you so much for viewing. And please give us a thumbs up and a like and a subscription if you could. That'd be awesome. Keeps the channel going. This is Clifford Bridge itself. Luna, come here. And I'm going to get on the top of the bridge and give you a view. All the way down to Dunsford. And then all the way back up to Fingal. Now the path, there's a path all the way along this side on the meadow here where you can drop in. So that slope we had further back is where you can get in and wander down that way. I want to drop the phone in. And there you go. So this is video number 3 of the playlist, which is going to be about 6 or 7 videos maybe. Thanks for viewing.